You may not realize it, but the moment you open your front door, you could be sending prosperity right back out. Take a look. Is there a mirror facing your entrance? That shiny, decorative piece you thought made the space look bigger might actually be reflecting every blessing, every opportunity, every moment of peace away from your home. In Feng Shui, the front door is more than just a door. It's the mouth of your home where life energy enters, where new beginnings knock. And a mirror directly across it. It acts like a silent rejection. It says, "Not today, not here." It pushes away what you've been longing to welcome. Women who have lived long enough know it's the quiet disruptions that shape our lives most. You might not hear the mirror say anything, but you feel it in the form of missed chances, money slipping through fingers, or a constant, unexplained tiredness. So ask yourself now, when was the last time you really looked at the first thing your home says to the world and to you? Mistake 1. Mirror facing the front door, the echo that sends fortune away. It looks elegant, doesn't it? A tall mirror right across the front door, bouncing light, making the entryway feel more spacious. For years, you might have thought it added charm, maybe even a sense of openness. But what if that very mirror is the reason something in your life has felt blocked? In Feng Shui, the front door is sacred. It's not just an architectural feature, it's the portal where life force, or Kai, enters your home. It's where new beginnings find you, where abundance is invited to cross the threshold. But when a mirror sits directly opposite this vital space, it doesn't reflect beauty, it reflects energy. Right back out. Imagine opening your door to a gentle breeze, but instead of letting it move through, a wall instantly pushes it away. That's what happens energetically. The mirror bounces everything away. Wealth, good news, fresh ideas, even relationships trying to find their way in. You might not see it, but you feel it in that constant sense of almost. Almost getting that offer, almost feeling rested, almost feeling at home in your own space. Over time, the echo of rejection becomes familiar, and yet you can't put your finger on what's missing. This isn't superstition. It's the subtle language of your surroundings, and mirrors in Feng Shui are not neutral. They double what they reflect. When used with care, they can double joy, warmth, connection. But when misplaced, they double the void. For women who have nurtured families, built careers, and made homes for decades, this isn't about decor. It's about reclaiming a flow that's been interrupted, sometimes for years. A woman once told me, "I always felt like nothing stuck. People came and went. Money came and went. I worked hard, but everything slipped through." When I asked her what was opposite her front door, she paused. "A mirror," she said. "Tall, shiny, right across the entryway. I put it there to expand the space." She removed it, just moved it to the side where it could still reflect light but not the doorway. Within weeks, things shifted. Small, quiet changes. A check she'd been waiting on arrived. Her sleep deepened. Her granddaughter started visiting more. Was it magic? No, but it was energy finally allowed to enter and stay. If you have a mirror facing your front door, pause and truly look at it. Does it feel welcoming? Or does it feel like something being bounced back before it even crosses the line? Try this. Remove it for 1 week. Place a soft painting or a calming print there instead, something that invites, not repels. See how your space feels. See how you feel. Because sometimes the mirror isn't just on the wall. It's in the way we've learned to deflect good things, thinking we're protecting ourselves when really we're just echoing old habits. Let the mirror go. Let the door open, and this time, let what's meant for you actually enter. Mistake 2. Blocked front entrance, the door that forgot to welcome. Sometimes it starts with a single pair of shoes, left by the front door, then joined by another. a package you meant to return, a coat rack overflowing with scarves from last winter. Before you know it, the entrance to your home, the very threshold where energy should glide in like morning light, becomes a bottleneck. A space that whispers, "Not now," instead of "welcome." In Feng Shui, the front entrance isn't just how people enter your home, it's how opportunity enters your life. When that space is cluttered, neglected, or shadowed, it creates what's known as stagnant Kai, blocked life force. You may not see it the way you notice dust or dirt, but you feel it. In that strange sense of being stuck, of things taking too long, of life not moving the way it used to. You might start to say, "I don't know why, but nothing seems to get going anymore." That's your home reflecting your state, or perhaps your state echoing what your home has absorbed. Women over 55 often carry homes like they carry memories, full, layered, with corners that haven't been touched in years. But energy doesn't recognize sentimentality. It moves where there is space. It arrives where it is invited. And the front entrance is the first handshake, the first breath, the first sign of whether you're open to receive. I once visited a woman who hadn't changed the entrance of her house in 12 years. Same mat. Same dying fern in a cracked ceramic pot. Same stack of newspapers no one read. She told me she felt invisible, like life was happening for others but not for her anymore. We did one thing that day. We cleared the entryway. Swept it, replaced the mat with one that said, "Come in." Hung a gentle wind chime near the doorframe. Lit a candle just inside the hall. 3 days later, she called and said, "I don't know what shifted, but I feel like my home is smiling." The door had remembered how to greet life again. Look at your entrance now, not with judgment, but with kindness. Is it easy to walk through? Is it bright or heavy with shadows? Does it feel like a fresh inhale or a held breath? What we place at the doorway sets the tone for everything else. Even a small shift, wiping down the door, adding a plant with fresh leaves, oiling the hinges, becomes a message to the universe. I'm ready. Because the truth is, doors don't just open outward. They also open inward to new joy, new chapters, new peace. But only if they're not blocked by the things we've left there, telling life to come back later. Mistake 3. Misplaced bed, the rest that never fully lands. You close your eyes at night, but something doesn't settle. You shift, turn, adjust the pillow. The room is quiet, the lights are off, yet your body stays slightly alert, as if it's waiting for something. Or bracing for something. And when morning comes, you rise not refreshed, but unfinished. This isn't just about sleep. It's about the placement of where you rest and whether your energy is allowed to return fully to you. In Feng Shui, the bed isn't simply where we sleep. It's the most vulnerable, most restorative point in the home. It's where we lie still and trust that the world and our inner world will hold. But many people unknowingly place their beds in positions that disturb this sacred energy. A bed directly under a window, for example, feels exposed. The energy of sleep, which should be deep and enveloping, is constantly pulled outward, like your spirit keeps reaching for something outside. Or worse, a bed aligned exactly with the bedroom door, what Feng Shui calls the coffin position. It sounds dramatic, but the effect is subtle and real. Your feet pointing toward the door, your body in a straight line to exit, energetically suggests departure, not rest. It's no wonder you wake up still tired. For women over 55, sleep changes, hormones shift, worries hum lower in the body. The nights get longer, which makes the position of the bed more important than ever. Your nervous system is listening, even when you think you've gone quiet. If your bed feels unstable, too open, or directly in the flow of energy between doors and windows, your rest becomes a transaction instead of a sanctuary. I once worked with a retired teacher who hadn't slept well in 7 years. She thought it was age, or grief, or both. But when I visited her home, I noticed the bed pushed into a corner under 2 windows, one of which had a curtain that never fully closed. The wall behind her headboard wasn't solid. It backed into a laundry room full of buzzing machines. We made 2 changes. Moved the bed against the only solid wall in the room. Added a padded headboard, soft but firm, like the hug she didn't know she missed. That night, she called me with tears in her voice. "I don't remember falling asleep," she said, "but I remember waking up and not being tired." That's when you know your bed is in the right place, when rest doesn't have to ask permission. If your bed currently faces a door, or sits under a window, or floats without support behind you, consider adjusting it. Even a small shift, turning the frame, pulling it slightly forward, placing a piece of solid furniture at the head, sends a message to your body: you're safe now. You can fully arrive. Because real rest isn't just about sleep. It's about return. And we can't return fully to ourselves if where we lie down is whispering, "Not yet." Mistake 4. Stove opposite the bathroom, the fire that fades in the wrong direction. At first glance, it's just a layout. The stove sits on one wall, the bathroom door directly across from it. Maybe you didn't design it that way. Maybe it came with the house. You thought, "It's fine, they're separate rooms." But every day, as you prepare meals, stirring soup, warming bread, turning the heat just right, your fire faces the drain. In Feng Shui, the kitchen is the heart of vitality. It holds the fire that nourishes not just food, but life itself. And the stove, especially, represents personal power, financial stability, and the ability to transform raw things into sustenance. Now place that sacred fire directly across from a space whose entire function is to flush, rinse, release. That's the energetic clash. One builds, one removes, one warms, one cools. And in between, you stand wondering why you always feel like you're doing everything right, yet still running low. The result might not be dramatic, but it lingers. Low motivation, unexpected expenses, a sense of being drained by the end of each day. You may even find it hard to finish things, projects, books, even conversations. That's the bathroom energy subtly undoing the fire you're trying to maintain. I remember a woman who invited me to her home in Arizona. She was recently retired, had taken up baking again, something she hadn't done since her children were small. But every time she entered the kitchen, she lost momentum. "It's like my energy just dips," she said. We looked at her layout. The stove faced the guest bathroom, which stayed open because the window gave good light. That light, however, carried with it a steady release, as if everything she created had no place to stay. We didn't remodel. We simply closed the bathroom door, hung a soft curtain in front of it in a warm, grounding color, and placed a bowl of oranges, symbols of prosperity, near the stove. 3 weeks later, she called and said, "I made 5 loaves of bread this week, and I actually enjoyed the process." Sometimes healing isn't loud, it's quiet, like redirecting a whisper. If your kitchen and bathroom share a line of sight, or worse, directly face each other, try closing the bathroom door permanently. If privacy isn't an issue, consider a screen, a tall plant, or even a light curtain to break the flow. Place something strong near the stove, a jar of salt, a wooden cutting board, a pot of rosemary. These are small acts, but they speak in the language of elements. They tell the fire, "I see you, I protect you," and they tell the water, "Flow where you must, but do not douse what keeps me alive." Because in the end, it's not about perfection, it's about balance. And when your fire stops fading, you'll begin to feel it, energy that stays, warmth that lingers, effort that nourishes instead of exhausts. Mistake 5. Dead clock, time that forgot to flow. It's easy to overlook. A clock on the wall quietly frozen at 4:17. You meant to change the battery months ago, maybe years. But somehow it just stayed there like background wallpaper in your daily life. At first, you don't notice. Then one day you glance up and realize time stopped and you let it. In Feng Shui, clocks are more than just tools to tell time. They are symbols of movement, continuity, and the silent rhythm that governs everything. When a clock stops, even if it's small, it sends a subtle signal. Something in this space is no longer progressing. For women in their later seasons of life, time takes on a deeper meaning. It becomes not just about schedules, but about purpose, about legacy, about knowing that each hour is a vessel, and how we fill it matters. So when a clock in your home stands still, especially in a shared space like the living room or kitchen, the energy there begins to hold its breath. You might notice feelings of stagnation, projects that never quite begin, a reluctance to move forward even when everything looks fine on the surface. I once sat with a woman who'd been feeling unmotivated for years. "I don't know what happened," she said. "I used to be full of plans, now I just drift." We walked through her home, and there above the fireplace was a beautiful antique clock, elegant, ornate, and completely still. "It stopped working 2 Christmases ago," she smiled. "But it looks so nice I never took it down." That one choice, innocent as it was, had become a quiet permission to freeze, to pause life unintentionally. I asked her to take the clock down for a while, not even replace it, just allow that space to breathe. She hesitated, then agreed. 2 weeks later, she began repainting her guest room, then pulled out her old sketchbooks. "I didn't even realize I missed drawing," she told me. "It's like something finally opened." That's the power of time returning, and it begins with recognizing where in our homes we've allowed it to stop. Look around now. Are there clocks in your house that have died silently? Are they stuck on moments you didn't choose or moments you haven't yet moved past? If so, you don't need to toss them out. You simply need to bring them back to life. Replace the batteries, set the hands, let the ticking resume, or if they no longer serve you, gently let them go. Each tick is a reminder life is moving and you are part of it. Not behind, not ahead, but here and now. Because when time flows, energy flows. And when energy flows, so does your spirit, even if quietly, even if slowly, 1 second at a time. Mistake 6. Dry plants in the corner, the forgotten life. You walk past it every day. The one-screen peace lily by the hallway. Its leaves are now curled inward, edges crisp to brown. The soil feels like ash, dry and brittle. You keep meaning to water it, but somehow you don't. And it stays there, a quiet witness of your delay. In Feng Shui, plants are not decor. They are the living lungs of a space, drawing in stagnant energy, exhaling freshness, growth, resilience. They symbolize life in motion, softness in structure. And when a plant is placed in a corner, that symbolism is magnified. Corners, energetically, are often forgotten spaces. They hold memory. They collect stillness. When we place a living being there, it becomes an offering. Grow here, bring light here, hold this part of the house. But when that being is neglected, when it withers, it becomes something else. A mirror, a message. A representation of what we, too, may be ignoring in ourselves. For women who have spent decades giving life to others, nurturing children, tending to careers, holding together relationships, it's easy to miss the signs of your own exhaustion. The dry plant isn't just about water. It's about attention, about breath, about something once alive that no longer receives enough to keep thriving. I once visited a woman who had 5 houseplants, all placed thoughtfully, all dying. She told me she couldn't figure out why she was so emotionally numb lately. "I sit in silence a lot," she said, "but it doesn't feel peaceful, it feels hollow." As we moved through her home, it became clear. The plants weren't the cause, they were the echo. They were reflecting back her own energy, waiting, parched, unspoken. We chose one plant to focus on, just one. A small pothos in her dining room. We trimmed the dry leaves, repotted it gently, and placed it closer to the light. For the next 7 days, she watered it at sunrise. Nothing big, just a moment of intention. A moment of saying, "I see you, I remember you." 2 weeks later, she smiled differently. "I think I'm waking up a little," she said. "So if there's a dry plant in your house, don't just water it out of guilt. Touch the soil, feel the stem, ask yourself, what part of me feels like this right now? And which corner of my life have I left too long in shadow?" Then care for it not as a chore, but as a ceremony. A quiet ritual of returning to life. Because when a leaf revives, so do we. And every soft green shoot is your home whispering, you still carry spring inside you. Mistake 7. Too much red, the flame with no pause. Red is bold, red is beautiful. Red is passion, courage, celebration. A little red can lift a room like laughter in a quiet gathering. But too much red. It becomes a fire with no place to rest. You may not notice it at first. A red couch, crimson curtains, scarlet pillows, a ruby-toned rug, each piece chosen with confidence, maybe even pride. But over time, you begin to feel it not as heat, but as restlessness. A nervous buzz that won't quite settle. In Feng Shui, red represents the fire element. It stirs energy, draws attention, ignites movement. It is powerful, and power, as we know, is best held with care. When fire dominates a space, the result can be overstimulation. Tempers rise, sleep becomes shallow. The home no longer invites stillness. It charges forward, even when your body begs to slow down. For many women, especially in midlife and beyond, the desire to feel alive again is strong. We want warmth. We want vitality. We want to wake up and feel the pulse of living. And red promises that. But here's the gentle truth. We don't need constant flame to feel alive. We need rhythm, balance, a dance between fire and calm. I visited a woman who had transformed her living room with red after a divorce. "I wanted to feel powerful again," she said. And for a time, it worked. The space felt energizing, but months passed and she found herself unable to sleep well. Her conversations became sharper. She started avoiding her own living room. The very space she created to reclaim herself had begun to exhaust her. We softened the room, kept one red pillow, a small abstract painting with rich, warm tones. But we replaced the rest with earthier hues, terracotta, sand, olive green. She added textures that grounded her, woven throws, wooden bowls, a soft beige rug underfoot. Within a week, she said the room felt like it could breathe. "And so can I," she whispered. If your space is heavy in red, pause and notice how your body reacts in that room. Do you feel held or hurried, inspired or agitated? You don't have to erase all the red. You only need to give it context. Let red be the punctuation, not the entire sentence. Use it as a spark, not a blaze. Introduce colors that absorb and stabilize, soft browns, calming grays, gentle greens. Let your eyes rest. Let your breath lengthen, because true power doesn't shout, it simmers. And when your home holds that quiet fire, the kind that glows instead of scorches, you'll rediscover a part of yourself that isn't trying so hard to be strong. She's just centered and finally at peace. Mistake 8. Lonely art inviting isolation without knowing. It hangs silently. A painting of a single chair on a beach. A photo of a lone woman standing beneath a street lamp. A canvas splashed with gray-blue tones, quiet and vast. At first glance, it looks elegant, minimal, even peaceful, but stay with it long enough and you might start to feel alone. In Feng Shui, artwork is never neutral. It carries intention, emotion. It becomes a silent conversation between your inner world and the walls around you. And when the dominant imagery in your space reflects solitude, particularly a solitude without joy or motion, it begins to seed that energy into your life. Not deliberately, but deeply. Women in later stages of life often seek calm. After decades of noise, care, giving, they yearn for spaces that feel uncluttered, uncomplicated. And in that quest, they sometimes choose art that seems serene, but is actually steeped in emotional stillness. A friend once invited me into her newly remodeled apartment. The space was stunning, tasteful grays, soft lighting, well-chosen textures, but every single painting depicted isolation. A solitary tree, a lone figure in a vast field, a window with no one looking out. "I just wanted peace," she told me, "but lately I feel invisible." That's when I gently suggested, perhaps your walls are echoing that. Perhaps your home isn't making you invisible, it's just reflecting the image you unknowingly gave it. We kept the colors but shifted the story. We replaced one painting with a scene of two birds in flight, added a framed photo of her and her sister laughing on a porch swing, hung a piece of art that showed a pathway lined with lanterns, not crowded but connected. Within days, the apartment felt warmer, not louder, just more alive. She began inviting people over again, even for tea, even for an hour. If you take a quiet walk around your home right now, notice what your art is saying. Is it telling stories of connection or of absence? Does it show movement or stillness without company? Does it offer warmth or distance? You don't need to remove everything, but you can shift the message. Art with pairs, two chairs, two hands, two paths encourages harmony. Nature scenes with gentle light invite softness. Even abstract pieces with curved shapes and warm hues can change the emotional climate. This is not about filling your walls with noise. It's about choosing what kind of quiet you want to live inside. Because peace doesn't mean loneliness, and solitude doesn't have to echo hollow. Let your home speak companionship, not as something you lack, but something you are always worthy of receiving. Even if the room is empty, the energy doesn't have to be. Mistake 9. TV facing a mirror, chaos reflected twice. You turn on the TV at night for a little background noise, maybe a favorite drama or the evening news. The screen lights up, flickering with motion, voices, stories. But just across from it, a large mirror quietly watches. And without realizing it, your room has become a hall of echoes. In Feng Shui, mirrors are amplifiers. They don't just reflect objects, they double energy, movement, emotion. When placed thoughtfully, mirrors can expand light, open space, soften the mood. But when they face a television, especially one that plays for hours at a time, the result isn't balance, it's duplication. Every scene, every burst of conflict, every flash of noise and shadow is multiplied and bounced back into the room. For women who have spent years cultivating calm after decades of caretaking, working, worrying, this kind of doubling can subtly undo the peace they've worked so hard to create. I once sat with a woman in her 60s who felt anxious every evening but didn't understand why. "The house is quiet, the lights are soft, I don't watch anything scary," she said. But when I visited her space, I saw it immediately. Her television sat directly opposite a large, gilded mirror. "I wanted the room to feel bigger," she explained. But bigger isn't always better when the energy being reflected is rapid, emotional, or disjointed. We did one simple thing, covered the mirror with a soft, woven textile in the evenings. That was it. No remodeling, no replacing furniture. The following week, she told me, I actually fell asleep without my chest feeling tight. That's the power of removing visual overload, even if it's unconscious. If your living room or bedroom has a mirror facing the TV, try turning off the screen and observing the room. Sit in silence. What do you feel? Is your attention able to rest? Or does it keep darting between the seen and the reflected? Our nervous systems crave coherence. A single stream of information, not two. Especially as we age, this matters more. The mind needs fewer cross-currents, not more stimulation. You don't have to eliminate your mirror, but you can reposition it, angle it toward natural light instead of a screen. Or cover it at night, like dimming a lamp to prepare the body for rest. Alternatively, choose artwork for that wall instead, something grounded, gentle, non-reflective. Because your home doesn't just respond to what you place in it. It responds to how many versions of that thing it has to hold. Let the stories you watch stay contained in the screen. Let the mirror reflect something still, a vase of fresh flowers, a quiet window, a candlelight glow. Let chaos have one voice, not two, and let peace finally be louder. Mistake 10. Stagnant air when the house stops breathing. There's no smell, no breeze, no movement, just stillness. Not the peaceful kind, the kind that feels stuck. You open the front door and the air feels flat. You walk from room to room and everything looks in place, but it feels like nothing is alive. That's what happens when a house stops breathing. In Feng Shui, airflow is the invisible pulse of a space. It's how energy renews itself. Just like our lungs need fresh oxygen, our homes need circulation, real, moving air that carries away the old and makes room for the new. But in many homes, especially in colder seasons or busy lives, windows stay closed for weeks. Ceiling fans go unused. The same indoor air loops through the system over and over, full of yesterday's worries, last week's fatigue, conversations that left tension in the air. Over time, that energy thickens, and you start to feel it. Not dramatically, but persistently. You feel heavy in the morning. Rooms feel darker than they are. You light candles, but the scent fades quickly. You clean, but the house still doesn't feel clean. A woman once told me, I decluttered everything, but something still feels off. Her house was spotless, organized, tidy, but every window was sealed, curtains drawn tight. I don't like drafts, she said. But when energy can't move, neither can we. We lose momentum. Creativity dries up, sleep becomes shallow, even joy feels hard to access. We opened one window, just one, for 15 minutes a day. In the morning while the kettle boiled. After a week, she began opening 2, then 3. Then she added a diffuser with lemon oil placed by the kitchen vent. One morning she texted, "The house smells like beginning." That's what air does. It doesn't just clean, it renews. It revives what has gone quiet. If your home has felt dull lately, open a window, even just a crack. Let the breeze in, even if only for minutes. Place a small wind chime by the entrance. Burn sage or Palo Santo gently, not to erase, but to bless. Let your house remember the sensation of movement, of freshness, of breath, because when a house breathes, so do you. And when you breathe, the parts of you that have felt shut down, hope, softness, possibility, start to stir again. Not with force, but with air, with space, with the silent welcome of something new. Final. Now the house is quiet again. The television is off. The mirror no longer catches your reflection from across the room. A window is cracked open, letting in the soft hush of leaves rustling outside. You're sitting in your chair, the one that fits your shape perfectly now, and for the first time in a while, there's space. Not just around you, inside you. A kind of soft, almost imperceptible release, like the house just exhaled. Like you just did, too. You don't need to change everything. You don't need to fix what isn't broken. But maybe, just maybe, you're beginning to notice the places that haven't been touched in years. The corners that held on too long. The objects that stayed because letting go felt like too much. And now, without force, without urgency, you're beginning to ask a gentler question. Does this still support who I am becoming? Not who I was, not what once made sense. But the version of you that moves slower now, listens deeper, knows how sacred softness can be. That version of you is watching. She doesn't need answers, just honesty. And in this moment of stillness, when the light falls just right and the room feels quiet but alive, you might finally ask, what kind of home would I create if I believed I was already enough to receive it?